Hi, it's Mia again. We've created issues and updated them to include information related to our work. Now it's time to work on issues and transition them through the workflow. Let's do it in JIRA. On our board, we click to view the active sprint screen, which is our active to-do list for the duration of this sprint. To let your team know that you're working on an issue, drag and drop it from one column to the next. In this case, from the to-do column to the in-progress column. Moving the issue to the in-progress column automatically moves it in the underlying workflow from the to-do status to the in-progress status. You can only move issues one at a time. Many workflows also restrict the movement of issues, so you may notice that you can only move issues to certain columns on the board. And the board actually lets you know which columns you can move the issue to. If the color of the column turns blue as you drag an issue and hover over it, it means you can drop the issue in that column. And it'll turn green as you're dropping the issue into the column. As your team gets more sophisticated with JIRA, your workflows may include transition screens. Transition screens gather more information that helps other team members do their work more effectively. For example, you may be prompted to enter details about the problems remaining to fix a bug. The fields in the transition screen help ensure that the next team member has as much information needed to start the next steps in the process. When moving an issue from one column to another, JIRA notifies watchers that the issue is updated. Let's look at another characteristic of workflows that users experience when transitioning issues: constraints. If your team wants to limit the number of issues that can be in a certain status or column at any one time, they'd add a constraint to the column. When might a column have a constraint? Well, shared teams like QA or UI development may get overloaded at times. Constraints limit the number of issues that users can add to a column that represents their work, keeping their workload manageable. Up to this point, we've learned how to move issues through typical workflows that are used in production environments. Many workflows restrict how you can move issues through it. That's because work processes tend to have a set of rules about how work moves through it. Before we finish up, though, let's revisit the simplified workflow, which we introduced in Tutorial 3. You saw that the simplified workflow starts off with three statuses: to do, in progress, and done. There are a couple of things to point out with simplified workflows when it comes to transitioning issues. First, users can move issues freely from one status to any of the other statuses. This means that they can move issues from one column to any of the other columns. The other difference is that users won't see transition screens in simplified workflows. The simplified workflow has its limitations, but it provides a good place to start. Over time and with more experience, your team will most likely replace the simplified workflow with more robust workflows. Take some time to apply what you've learned in your own project.